A call to order the city council meeting for June 2nd, 2025. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Wolfersberger.
Here.
Member Cheney Huggett.
Here.
Member Gates. Member Hackworth.
Here.
Member Skibby.
Here.
Member Traver.
Here.
And Member Underhill. We have a quorum, Your Honor.
Thank you. I would seek a motion to excuse members Gates and Underhill from tonight's meeting. So move.
Support.
Support. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. I would now ask council to stand for invocation by Brandon Crawford of Grace Baptist Church and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Bow for prayer. Our Lord, we continue to be so grateful for your goodness to our city. And as we enter another council meeting, we ask you to give each council member wisdom where there are decisions to be made. That you'd give them a good sense of what would be right for this city. That you would give them humility to listen to opposing viewpoints and to their constituents. That you'd also give them a sense of camaraderie as they work together to address our city's common needs. Please bless each one of them and their families and each resident of Marshall. And we ask these things in your son's name. Amen.
Thank you. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. With that, we move to approval of agenda. Item 6 is our public comment on agenda items. Item 7 is our consent agenda with our city council minutes, city bills, third quarter fiscal year 2026 financial report, third quarter fiscal year 2025 investment portfolio, third quarter fiscal year 2025 cash position report, second and third quarter fiscal year 2025 budget amendments, special event request for Stories at the Fountain series, and a special event request from the Museum of Magic. No presentations or recognitions, no informational items. We do not have any public hearings this evening and no old business. Under reports, we do have a recommendation made for skate park equipment purchase. No appointments or elections. Public comment on non-agenda items, followed by council and manager communications, and then adjournment. Seek a motion regarding tonight's agenda.
I move that we approve tonight's agenda as presented. Support.
Motion support. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Moves us to public comment on agenda items. Persons addressing city council are required to give their name and address for the record when called upon by the mayor. Members of the public shall be limited to speaking for a maximum of 3 minutes. Comments shall address agenda item topics only. Public hearing items should be addressed during the public hearing portion, item number 10 of the meeting agenda. Non-agenda items should be addressed during the public comment non-agenda items, item 14 portion of the meeting. Is anyone wishing to address council this evening on agenda items? Mr. Adams?
Again, Barry Wayne Adams, 6.2 West Green Street. Once again, I object to the minutes that they do not adequately reflect the concerns of the citizenry in the recounting of, we get to get our names in the minutes. Big deal. It's what we're saying is what we want to be considered important. We're not coming down here to get our name in the minutes one more time. We want you to listen. But considering the issues of budgeting, you've been planning in a certain direction. And with recent events, it seems that that direction was a misdirection. And the new big, beautiful bill is showing that it's not in favor of the continuation and development of the electric vehicle industry. And we just heard Bill Ford lamenting loudly over national news that this bill could actually scuttle the Marshall Megasite project, the Blue Oval project. And actually, it had to go in that direction because the whole EV industry was untenable from a logistical and material standpoint, also from a infrastructure standpoint. Never going to be able to provide all the electricity that would have been needed. But it's a good thing. It should collapse on its own. But now it's time to try to think about what are the possible beneficial alternatives for the use of that land. And, you know, the two major options that I've been hearing around town are decommissioning the site and turning it back into a recreational area where the watershed and the river recreation resources can be used for, you know, commercial purposes and getting more tax money and all that stuff. Or, since that building is already built, there is a new burgeoning industry that is carbon negative, that is truly a green form of industry, and that is the production of hempcrete construction materials using the chopped up stems of the cannabis plant and mixed with lime. But it's something to consider because it's really.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. Anyone else wishing to address council tonight on agenda items? Seeing none, we move to the consent agenda. Item 7A is council minutes. We have our regular session minutes from May 19th and our closed session minutes from May 19th, 2025. We have our 7B is our city bills purchases on May 16th, 2025 of $19,434.52. We have our purchases from May 23rd, 2025 in the amount of $103,735.43 for a total of $123,169.95. 7C is our third quarter fiscal year 2026 financial report. 7D is third quarter fiscal year 2025 investment portfolio. 7E is third quarter fiscal year 2025 cash position report. 7F is second and third quarter fiscal year 2025 budget amendments. 7G, special event request for Stories at the Fountain series. And then 7H is special event request Museum of Magic. I would seek a motion regarding the consent agenda.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Support.
Motion support. And it's a roll call vote, please.
Member Cheney Huggett,
Yes.
Member Hackworth,
Yes.
Member Skibby, Member Traver, and Mayor Wolfersberger.
Yes.
Motion carries, Your Honor.
Thank you. That brings us to 12A, reports and recommendations for skate park equipment purchase. And I believe Director Strange will be talking to us about this evening.
Good evening. Thank you for having me here this evening. Before you have an administrative report with information about the skate park equipment. There's some layouts in there, or a layout in there, multiple views of a layout. There's some information about costs associated with that. But if you can't remember, we went after a Cronin Foundation grant and we are awarded a $50,000 grant. And city council approved a $50,000 match at when we went after that grant, so that we could replace all of the skate park equipment that is out there. All of it is in very bad shape. And we're really excited to be able to present this option as a solution to that problem. The American Ramp Company is a part of one of the purchase agreements that allows us to purchase directly from the company. And so we don't have to kind of get three bids. It's Sourcewell, I think is the agreement. I'm sorry, words are not coming to me. But basically, they're vetted and they're already kind of pre-vetted, and they've already competed with other entities to be able to have us purchase their equipment.
It's like the My Deal program.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me words.
I
I'm
try.
so sorry. I need to just read what I say, have written down, and not try to, come up with my own words.
Pre-negotiated.
Thank you. So we did, reach out to community members, had various degrees of input. The group that gave us the most feedback was actually the group that skates a lot over at the underground over in Battle Creek. If you're not aware of that, that's probably the most local, really active skate park area in the community outside of our own, right? Reached out to some middle schoolers. They were just like, yeah, cool, we get new stuff. But the group from the underground they were very thoughtful and gave us some feedback. After their feedback, we're probably going to try to get one more element out there. It's called a manual pad. It's really just like another small box, shorter box out there. And we might be able to do that as kind of a swap out for the two grind rails that are new on the plan. We might be able to reuse ours. So kind of depending on how those dollars pan out, the goal is to still stay within our $90,000 that we're asking. What is on the drawings we can get for $90,000 as a turnkey. So anything else we would be able to negotiate as kind of an add would be still within that amount is what our target is.
Awesome.
We are going to be removing the fence around the skate park, and DPW has already agreed to do that work. So that's not an additional contractor or anything we have to bring in for that.
Okay.
And so we're asking tonight if we could get an approval for the purchase agreement with the American Ramp Company for the $90,000, and then authorize the city manager to sign the necessary documents. And that would also allow us to have the $10,000 for a maintenance fund for the maintenance of the skate park.
Can you speak to the timetable?
Yes. So we were hoping we were going to be able to get this, midsummer, right? But with the timeline of purchasing agreements, it looks like it's going to be this fall. It would probably be October before we can get all of this stuff set up.
So is it, will American Ramp do the installation?
I'm not sure if they do a direct install or if they have like a set of installers in the area that they work with, but it would not be us managing an installation group. They would manage all that through their contract.
Okay. But it's part of the 90,000.
It is, yes.
Any questions, comments, or discussion?
What's the plan just to keep up on it? Because as we know, it's been damaged quite a few times. And fence or no fence, fence doesn't seem to help anyways, but what is our plan? Just because this is really nice equipment, it looks very nice. I'd love for it to stay nice.
Agreed. So, internally, our staff, I think it goes in spurts, right? We see like kind of spurts of problems out there or, and it comes down to, monitoring and keeping it active, right? I think that's a lot of it. This equipment has a 20-year warranty that we're purchasing, which is huge, right? And the goal is, if we can get to year 15, and then we can start looking to, a 5-year look ahead to try to figure out what the next thing out there is. That buys us quite a bit of time in order to kind of figure out what that needs to be. I mean, and the people that we talked to as a part of this kind of review, there was a lot of them, brought up great ideas that we've seen in other parks elsewhere. It's concrete bowls and, things that would last for 50 years, right? No problem. But they just cost a significant amount of money, that our goal today was really just to get a safe option as quick as we could, right? And still buy us time to raise money or go after other grants or whatever we can do and reactivate that group of people in the area, right? Like, I think right now, like I said, a lot of people are going to Battle Creek or other places. And hopefully we can recollect those people and bring them back to Marshall.
The other advantage we're gonna have is in the fiscal year 26 budget, we'll actually have a dedicated park maintenance employee, which is something the city hasn't had in I don't know how many years. So there will be an individual, once we hire that person, they'll be responsible for making sure that these, all of our parts and pieces in the playgrounds, are maintained properly. And if something's in disrepair, it gets removed. And fortunately, through the special projects fund now, and by earmarking $10,000, we'll have funds set aside to replace that stuff in a timely manner instead of just letting it sit there and sit there and sit there. And, that just creates additional disrepair. So.
Everything I see here is great. Thank you. Just for sake of having it on the record, I still want to see some sort of plan for the city moving forward with our maintenance funding. So we've been starting to allocate a fund for maintenance with these new projects, but how do we replenish that fund? And then also for years, we've talked about security cameras. I'd like to know where the city is at with that. As we're investing more in our parks, I want to make sure that we hold people responsible too that may do damage or hurt them, like that we've seen so many times. So security cameras could help that. So thank you.
Maybe this isn't the place to bring it up, but I think it'd be a good idea to actually make this an event. Once it's set up and once it's ready to kick off, to actually advertise for that. Try to get some people out there during the event, some kids and stuff like that, actually using it. And try to get some buy-in from the community, so the community, and the kids will feel like it's up to them also to try to protect that space. I think the buy-in's important, but I'd like to see it be an actual event.
It's a great idea.
Just to bring some people into it.
Any other comments, questions, or discussion?
Just one more question. Is it gonna be new concrete or existing concrete?
So currently, we are not planning on new concrete. We've kind of looked out there. There might be a couple spots where we might have to do a little bit of filling of some cracks, and that's kind of anticipated. Until we really demo those the boxes that have been sitting in their spots for quite a while now, we're not really sure, where the cracks are going to hit on our path of travel between the different elements, but we'll have to kind of adjust as we clear it out there. Hopefully the goal, it doesn't look like it's in terrible shape, and we don't anticipate that we're going to have to be repouring a lot of stuff. It's just, we might have to do some crack fill is what we're anticipating.
Okay, thank you.
One last comment on the communication aspect. We want to make sure too that we are very public about we're replacing, not removing. So when people start to see the fence go away and the elements go away, let's make sure that they know it's coming back.
Yeah. We'll have to, I'm even thinking maybe we put some signage out there, because sometimes those people are not the ones that are watching the city website.
Right. Yeah.
I was just gonna ask, do we have an idea of how many people are using this? And then when you talk to people at the underground, are they from Marshall and just not coming here because it's in disrepair? Like, if we're gonna spend this much money, is skating as big of a deal as it was? Like, I don't know. I mean, do we have a lot of people, students in our town or people that are using skate parks?
So,
What? You don't skate? I do not skate, for the record.
So I would say that now it has declined a lot because we just don't have the facilities there, right? But not that long ago, it was a pretty vibrant space over there with a fantastic mix of ages. You know, there are great kids, teenagers who are more than willing to help your little 2 or 3-year-old learn how to go down one of those ramps, right? I mean, that is, it's one of those spaces where everybody can be there and welcome and, you know, I mean, it's more so than like Kids Kingdom might be a little more tailored to a specific age bracket. Yeah, you see the big kids out there, you know, but again, right now, it really needs repair. And so those people who, yeah, there's people that come over from Battle Creek, from Olivet, from, you know, all those kind of surrounding area because Marshall has a decent skate park. I mean, you know, if we repair this, I anticipate it will draw people.
Any other questions, comments, or discussion? In that case, I would seek a motion regarding item 12A.
I'll move that we approve the American Ramp Company purchase agreement for $90,000 and authorize the city manager to sign the necessary documents.
I support.
Motion and support, and it's a roll call vote, please.
Member Hackworth,
Yes.
Member Skibby,
Yes.
Member Traver,
Yes.
Mayor Wolfersberger,
Yes.
and Member Cheney Huggett.
Yes.
Motion carries, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you, Marcia. That moves us to item 14, public comment on non-agenda items. Persons addressing city council are required to give their name and address for the record when called upon by the mayor. Members of the public shall be limited to speaking for a maximum of 2 minutes. Anyone wishing to address council this evening on non-agenda items?
Regis Gundler, 348 Butler Court in Marshall. Just a couple of things. I'm glad Ryan mentioned a camera out at the skate park. I think that's an excellent idea. Not spending a lot of money, but you have constant surveillance out there. I think that's a good idea. I'm here just kind of throw out some other old ideas I had. Was like a monthly coffee or open house for people in the community on topics, various topics, different departments, whatever, so people know what's going on more. I think the open houses for the new subdivisions is a good idea. It's a good start, but I think we need to do it for a lot of different business that the city is doing. You know, looking through the financial report for the third quarter, it looks like the city's doing pretty good. The net revenue on the general fund's up 1.35 million. All funds are up about over 10 million. So, you know, we paid off our bonds. The only thing that seems to be going up is legal funds and building inspection out of the Ford plant, but that's getting reimbursed anyway. So that's should not be a big thing. In lieu of that, I still think an environmental coordinator would be an excellent addition to the city. There's a lot of big issues coming up. It's what people want. And I think that would be since the city is taking in more money, it would be a wise expenditure of some of that money. I just had a question. I thought budget changes were by resolution. Is that what happened, or is that only if there's additions to the budget? I know if you go between funds, does that have to be by resolution also, or not? Just a question. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Klingler. Anyone else wishing to address council tonight on non-agenda items?
Mary Wayne Adams again, 622 West Green Street. 2 years ago, over 2 years ago, and all this mega site stuff started happening. One of the early concerns that we had was the relationship between Ford and Contemporary Amperex Technologies Limited, CATL, and CATL's connection with the Chinese Communist Party. And as it turns out, our concerns have been validated, particularly in this new big, beautiful bill. The rationale for the demise of the mega site is because of the connection to CATL and its battery processing technologies. But again, that's a good thing. There is no reason why there shouldn't be some sort of moral lens that you guys are looking through when you make these decisions, especially long-term decisions with parties that are not part of the Michigan construct. And as it turns out, all of our suspicions have become realized. They just found a couple weeks ago that there are what they are characterizing as rogue devices in solar panels that can be actuated from the outside. We're finding all kinds of backdoor things that the CCP hackers are using. SALT and Volt technologies, they've already been inserted into your software.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. Anyone else wishing to address council tonight on non-agenda items? Being none, that moves us to council and manager communications. Member Skibby.
Nothing tonight.
Thank you. Member Hackworth.
Nothing tonight.
Member Traver.
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Member Cheney Huggett.
I have lots to share from
Yeah?
from the airport board.
Here you go.
Their next pancake breakfast is going to be June 21st. It's the last one, the weather was kind of iffy, so they didn't have many fly-ins, but they had lots of drive-ins. We're hoping the weather is good, so they have fly-ins and drive-ins. They found out that a lot of the pancake breakfasts with other small municipal airports are on Sunday, so we have less competition for the Saturday, so that's a good thing. Adult prices are still $10, children 6 to 12, $5, and under 5 are free, and it's all you can eat. It's not all you can eat pancakes, it's all you can eat. Also, there's going to be a new event that we are working with, or MEDA's working with us at the airport board, and it's called Motor Month Movie Nights. It's a drive-in, fly-in event. Hopefully cars and things like that will come in, maybe some classic cars. And the first event is supposed to start on July 11th, and there's 4 weeks of shows on Friday night. I believe some of the movies were Back to the Future, Cars, Smokey and the Bandit, and there was another one that was, I don't know. But anyway, so keep watching for that. It's really exciting to have that out there.
Yeah.
I also want to thank Granger for picking up an extra pickup on that Thursday night before the storm hit. I was just watching my boxes out there going, they're going to be all over town. And so it was really nice for them to come along and pick up boxes after they'd already gone through and picked up trash. And I want to thank the young man who came to my door last Saturday and knocked on it and said, thank you very much. You put out a 10-speed bike and all I had to do is put air in the tires, and I'm riding it around town now. So his parents raised him well and he was appreciative, and I was greatly appreciative to have that opportunity that a youngster in Marshall has that mode of transportation. So that was really nice. And that's it.
Thank you. City Manager Perry.
Just a quick couple items. One, tomorrow on South Marshall Avenue, Consumers Energy is replacing a gas line that actually services the powerhouse there. Traffic will be maintained, but the southbound lane will have traffic control. So just suggesting if you have to be in that area, maybe find a different route. Otherwise, you may be delayed several minutes. And then I just want to speak to the fountain. We've secured a contractor to finally grind down years and years of multiple layers of coating to try to get to actual concrete so that then we can resurface it with a brand new fresh coating. So they're going to mobilize. They should be here tomorrow. Again, all this work unfortunately is weather dependent, and it's going to take a little while. So that's why the fountain's not in operation right now. At some point, we had to bite the bullet and get in there and just do what we needed to do to get that basin to where it needs to be as far as an aesthetic standpoint and to preserve the fountain. And then we'll be looking at making some repairs to the steps too. So that's why it's not on. So I'm sure people are curious, but that's what's going on. We are trying to make that icon last another 100 years. And this is probably like the first step. So.
Awesome. Is there an ETA when that's going to be functional?
Contractors telling us 3 weeks, but again, very weather dependent. So they'll be scrutinized, I'm sure, being in the center of town and right across from City Hall. So we'll make sure that they work with all good diligence. Because again, we know, again, it's the icon of the community. We want to have that thing in operation.
Is this what to do instead of having to replace it, or was that just chatter?
This is one part of that. So the long-term plan would be the columns in the upper ring that would get replaced. Actually, we're looking at a longer-term product like marble so that it actually would last for hundreds of years, right? The issue with our fountain, it's terracotta that has coatings on it. What we're been told is that's not what you should be doing with terracotta. So it blisters and bubbles, and then the water sits there and rots away. There's concrete components to it that have just, again, water hits on it and it just starts to erode. So there's areas that need to be patched and repaired. So, and then the bottom basin is concrete, and the plan is to maintain that as concrete. It's just not let multiple years of layers just keep building and just try to get down and start fresh and basically maintain those coatings as we should be doing.
Thank you, sir. Madam Clerk.
Nothing for me tonight.
Thank you. Yeah, it's the city cleanup pickup went very well, I thought. City garage sales sounded like they were pretty successful. The Memorial Day event was fantastic and the parade was great as usual. There is the Night of the Louvre event this Friday, the 1909, another big event there for them. And then Father's Day is coming up in 2 weeks. So the summer's in full swing, getting busy, but I think that's it. And I'll take a motion for an adjournment.
So move.
Support. Motion support. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. We are adjourned.